you're using scare tactics. Like, you're telling people that they can't go out and buy a 30-year-old car.
No, like, you have to be careful.
I don't like you. Oh, hey. Hello and welcome to a new episode of Carguments, the show where we argue about some of the most irrational and time-wasting topics in the automotive world. I'm here this week with our intern and bad take haver, Mac Hogan. We're gonna talk about whether newer cars are more reliable than older cars, objectively.
Yes, and more specifically, the way this came about was we were talking about used cars I should get, and he was asking why I would possibly want something from like 2012 as opposed to his suggestions, which were from like 1985. And I said, because I'd like to be able to, you know, drive places without having to worry about it.
There's nothing wrong with having a newer car. But I think you're wrong in saying that any car you get from 2012 will objectively be more reliable than a car from the 80s.
Well, I'm not saying any car, but I'm saying taken as a fleet average, the average car built in 2012 is leagues more reliable than the average nearly 40-year-old car.
Here, let's give specifics. What are you talking about exactly?
We consider a car from 2012 basically new because they don't break down that often, because those things maybe will eventually break, but they take forever to break. Meanwhile, something from the 80s, all of the seals, all of the wiring, all of that kind of stuff, it's 33 years old. It's gonna start breaking down, and you're gonna have more actual mechanical problems where the car leaves you stranded.
You're wrong. You're wrong. You're completely wrong. Like, think about it.
I'm completely right always, and you know that.
I'm gonna toss this at you. It totally depends. Like, how do you know you're not buying maybe a low-mile example from the 80s that has been taken care of, looked over, really finely tuned?
It can be, there are reliable cars that were built in the 80s, and there can be, but you need a perfectly capped welding where the guy has replaced all of the window motors and all of the wires and all of those things a million times, as opposed to a 2012 car where you can buy it and a guy could have beat the shit out of it for 6 years and like it doesn't matter because the car's basically new.
No, actually it does matter, because if you are buying a car that has been beat to shit for the past 5 years, then you're gonna be the one who'll be crawling back to your dealership begging for shit to get replaced. For probably a lot more money, depending on the car, than whatever.
We're not talking about money, we're talking about reliability.
It is all connected,
no,
Mac
it's not.
Hogan.
It's absolutely not. I
Right.
want to be able to go places without having to worry about the car leaving me stranded. Now, I'll give you that, like, maybe the stupid Bluetooth stuff and like CarPlay will stop working after, but guess what? I can still drive the car places because mechanically, modern cars are leagues more reliable, and that's proven by fact. Cars don't break down as often. Newer cars are lasting longer. Warranties are getting longer. All that stuff. You can buy a car from 2012 that's still under warranty if you buy it from the right brand.
These are all myths. I disagree with what you're saying.
That's a myth that you can buy a car
in
2012 with a warranty.
What you're telling me about a car that was like driven.
No,
you hold on. Okay. A car that was built 5 years ago, driven into the ground for the past 5 years. You're gonna be the one who's gonna have to go take care of all of the issues that have accumulated over the past 30 years, compared to a car that's possibly been barely driven, garage kept, whatever. What I'm saying is, these are factors that really matter. Like, a car could have been beat to the ground over the past 5 years, or it could have been taken care of really nicely for 30 years. And I also think money is a huge part of this. How could you, like, you don't think people think, oh, it's not reliable, but maybe it won't cost me much to fix. Like, that's like a thing.
No, those are two separate things. The point I was making is, yes, you're right. The absolute best car from the 80s is better than the worst car that's beat to shit from 2012. But taken as an average, if you just picked a car, the car that was beat to crap from the 80s and like totally neglected, that car literally probably doesn't exist anymore. It's been scrapped years ago because nobody wanted to fix all the stuff that's gone wrong. Yes, you're right. Now, like, the electronic stuff might cost more to fix in the long term.
I'm not talking about electronics. And actually, I want to take a step to my personal experience. I, for the record, have owned, to my count, 15 cars. Not many of them have been new, or too new, or whatever. The most recent, or most new car that I owned was my 2006 BMW M5, which I failed to care for properly because of how unreliable and how much it would have cost me to pay for those issues that it had. How
Luckily,
much do
Aaron
you-
has just given me exactly what I wanted, which is that he has just proven that you shouldn't listen to anything he ever says because he bought an E60 M5, the world's least reliable car in the world, and now is using it in an argument about reliability. Now,
15 cars to one car,
Yeah.
Matt Kogan. 15 cars to one. I know what I'm talking about.
you're
Even
using
though-
anecdotes, I'm using statistics. Cars don't break down as often, warranties are longer, and things are more reliable than they've ever been.
But just because the car's been on the planet for 30 years doesn't mean all of the parts in that car have been on the planet for 30 years.
Right.
Things have been replaced. People have cared about these cars and cared for them and done potentially the work that they've needed. Like, it's not an objective thing. You shouldn't go out telling people not to look at 30-year-old cars because everything in them is 30 years old. It's not true.
I'm not saying you shouldn't look at 30-year-old cars. I'm saying the normal car from the 80s is going to be less reliable in the long term than a car that you buy that is only 5-6 years old.
You're wrong.
Yes, and I'm telling you that you're wrong because you have no valid opinion based on the fact that you bought an E60 M5.
Thank you for tuning in today to this wonderful episode of Carguments. Go out, buy your 30-year-old project cars, don't listen to Mac, and enjoy your life. Thank you.